The Countdown is a YouTube program produced by Sapphire Aster Productions to interview guests on social, educational, sporting, and cultural issues affecting the Caribbean and the wider world.
Welcome to the Countdown. We will spend some time with Professor Dwayne Devonish, where we will talk about crime and violence in Barbados. Limited execution. So, I guess, how do we go about getting persons in that situation, that state where they can trust each other? And then I guess you will also have to revisit the family setting with the example that you give with a young parent, both parents and a child. How do they go about teaching their children, especially if the parents or in this situation they are very young and they don't know better themselves.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and we're not asking for parents to take the entire burden on themselves to teach their children, because as you correctly say, if I'm not equipped to teach my child, then it is not left for me to do that, but at least for me to seek out the support. So I think to be quite frank, there's still a level of agency that parents carry, in the sense that if you are self-aware that you have or you lack certain competencies as a parent to be able to support or to guide or to raise your children, and this is where you talk about working together. But there's an institution in government, whether it is or institution in civil society like Barbados or the Amar Empowerment, which is a civil society group. It's a Christian group that does a lot of training and interventions to support parents, teaching parents to be better parents. As a parent, you have to be honest enough to say, you know what, I am going to participate in this program because I can see some deficits, I can see some needs that I need to cater to, and I will expose myself to this type of training so I become a better parent. So it's still left to the will of a parent or parents to go out to seek out the training. I would dare say that there's also the counter question or the counter claim. But if as a parent I want to do that, but I can't find any of those programs, what happens? Because of poor marketing, poor promotion, the fact that the programs don't exist, then what is it for me to do? What can I do? So I'm also calling for civil society to be a bit more aggressive in their marketing and promotion and designing of these types of programs, because the research is there. And I keep telling people, yes, we need to do research, but to be quite frank, I think we have sufficient research on this 166 square miles that we call Barbados, that we can take from the recommendations of those research and tailor them, customize them into programs. All right, I think that's where I think we also have a deficit in taking research recommendations or translating them into something practical that people can benefit from. And I think that's where civil society, the government, through its organs, its various departments and ministries, should be able to take and manifest into something tangible that people can participate in.
Yeah, and I think they can also make good use of the websites as well, because you won't find all the parents that would be willing to go to a class, and
True.
say, well, I need to be taught myself.
Online programming is there.
I would go online. It's easier. You comfort of your home, privacy, and you can go through the material, and you can empower yourself.
Yeah.
But they have to be willing themselves, or to admit that I'm limited in this area. I need to improve myself in this area, and they also have to take the initiative to start empowering themselves and actually going through the material
100%
so that
agree.
they can benefit not only themselves but the children and the future of Barbados.
And that's it. I don't think we are short of any solution, or short of solutions generally. I think we are short of, in many cases, the will to act or the will to execute. And that's always, in many cases, more dangerous in the sense. Because here you have all of this knowledge, you have all of these solutions, even though on paper, but there's this kind of inaction or perhaps one might argue there's an ignorance of execution, which is a different problem altogether. So you really have to come to terms with the fact that we do have solutions to though, but how well we execute or how our capacity to execute those solutions, how committed we are in executing those solutions are much more profound concerns that I have and I believe other social scientists have when it comes to dealing with this crime and violence problem we have in this country.
Like you said, if everyone like play a part, because say for example, I might not be interested in the information that the police might have, but then I'm associated with this church. They might have a layout
Yes.
or a guideline. I might feel more comfortable learning from them, and and since you say it's not just two, is a wide range of organization that is responsible for the teaching program, right? All of them could have their different websites and make them available to the public,
Yeah.
so that if you feel comfortable going to the police website and go through the section of the information that they provide, well, that's for you. I might be more comfortable going to a church website where they have the information there, giving me guidance how to be a better parent for my children. Somebody else might go to another website, Ministry of Education, and they might get information from there. So I think going forward, uh, it's really a collection of everybody coming together and to get everyone to come together to reach that stage.
Yeah, and we're
That
not. Sorry, not to interrupt you, but I was saying to the point because this is coming from obviously a front of criticism against the government, noting that we need a whole of country approach. I don't think when the government or social scientists says that we need a whole of country approach, it is absolving the police, is absolving the government from their responsibility, because I think that's how people are interpreting this whole exercise or this whole expression, that whole country approach is just a kind of a form of rhetoric telling us that you can't do your job, so you want parents to do it, or you want the school to do it, or you want society to do it, so you are in no way, you are fully absolved, so you're extracted from your responsibility. That's not what it means. I mean, quite frankly, it means that all of us got to pull our weight. All right. And I made this point very clear that the police cannot do it alone. The government can't do it alone. The schools can't do it alone. Parents can't do it alone. But we can do it together.
The countdown will be back in a moment.
Welcome back to the countdown.
it's going to be difficult. But
Yeah.
think about it. You've tried almost everything else. And, if you're doing the same thing every time and getting the same results,
You got to do something different.
there we
You
go.
have to.
We have
It
to.
makes no sense.
Some people just throw their hands in the ears
Yeah.
and in the
No.
air and give up.
No,
Yeah.
you can't just do that. Their future,
Yeah.
you just can't give up on them.
Yeah. And I worry about the future. I worry about the future generations, and these are going to be future leaders at some point. And if this is the kind of mold that we're getting, one would definitely worry a lot.
Yep. So everybody got to come together
Yep.
to start forming, come to some kind of conclusion. Some kind of structure. That's the only way I see it happening going forward.
Yeah.
Because you trying to do it on your own, and everybody else is like a haystack.
True.
You
True.
just
And,
you
and
can just do so much.
correct. And egos do get in the way, When we talk about institutions working together, each institution would normally have a belief that, I'm doing the best thing that I'm doing. And a lot of them are very, very defensive when you have to criticize or you have to give them a bit of evaluation. Well, you should do it a little better here, or you probably should stop doing that and do it like this. So you still have a lot of egos that you're grappling with, whether it's the police, whether it's civil society organizations, the school. Because when you are attacking the teachers will tell you, or the ministry will tell you, well, you can't look at us, you got to look at your parents, and everybody's pointing fingers at each other. And it's not to say that every institution is culpable. We're saying that every institution is responsible in their own way. Yeah.
Everybody play a part then.
Exactly.
It's like a team.
It's like a team.
Yeah.
But I guess when you
Everybody
get into the finger pointing and the blame spreading, it becomes difficult.
You're not going to get far.
And you're not going to get collaboration because then it kind of moves.
Yeah.
People move away. It's kind of polarizing.
So I guess there again is where education and understanding comes in, because it's no sense me blaming you when it's there's a lot of other issues involved in the matter.
And while we fighting crime, festering and getting worse.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad when you look at it. I want to ask you about your grandmom.
Oh yes.
Would you give us the advice that she has given you that you could share with your viewers, like in terms of education or?
Well, she would say that soft skills are the hardest skills to learn, and I made it my quest to develop better in my soft skills. As an individual, and I would encourage people to if and when we talk about soft skills, we're talking about things like working together, conflict resolution, managing your emotions, managing stress. It's all right to have qualifications like accountant and becoming a doctor or becoming some form of professional engineer. But I've found even in my research across the region that a lot of employers are looking not just for those hard line qualifications, but they're looking for candidates that they can hire that carry these soft skills. So that's one thing that my grandmother taught me. A second thing about that she taught me concerns how we treat people. She always said that respect is due to a dog, which is a bit of Bajan vernacular that suggests it doesn't matter where your station is in society, right? Respect is owed to you. And I'm a professor, but as a professor, I would treat the common man, because I'm still consider myself a common man, but the man that people may believe is lesser than me and lesser from a socio-economic standing, in the same way that I would treat the prime minister. And if we start teaching our children about, I call them first principles, things like respect, empathy, trying to see the world not only through your eyes, but through the eyes of somebody else. Especially, I remember, and this may kind of segue into mental illness. I remember we have a well-known character in Bridgetown known as Ninja Man, and there was a time when it was captured on social media. Ninja Man was doing something odd, and people, they were in the comment section laughing, and and I said, in the comments, I intervene myself into the comments. But if this were your brother, your father, your son, would this still be funny? And then everybody scattered. And it tells us that as a society, that we have to be careful that we don't become more and more disconnected psychologically from people. Because effectively, what was happening is that people see Ninja Man as an object. So we've been able to objectify people, which is effectively disconnecting, you know, Ninja Man from us. So we don't see ourselves in Ninja Man. That's the basic symptom of a lack of empathy. When you see somebody as an object. So and if you think about it, you could apply it in the crime situation. When a young man takes a gun and shoots someone, he objectifies it. He doesn't see value in that life.
So
There's no
true.
value appended to that life from that young man. And if you think about it, we do the same thing when we make jokes of people with mental illnesses, or we make jokes of people who are suffering. You know, think about you laughing at people who are suffering. That takes a lot of corrosion in our human powers to really contend with the fact that we have lost empathy as a society. And I think we have to begin teaching, inculcating in our children from very young those empathetic soft skills. So those are things that I would say my grandmother taught me growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really nice. And come back to these soft skills. You think that is lacking a lot in our younger society? Because
Especially laughing here.
they're behind the screen, they're with the phones, and they're not like social like how we were in days ago.
Yeah.
And they don't have that interaction skill, how to control themselves and how to communicate well. So,
Yeah, I think interestingly, research has shown that with the emergence and the growth of social media, a different side of empathy actually has come back into alignment. Where you would probably see like a video, let's say a video of the war in Gaza and the damage that has been caused in Gaza and so on. You see a lot more people being empathetic, but that level of empathy seems to be, I wouldn't say performative, but it's a kind of a different type of empathy that you would get from a situation where there's a personal encounter, where me as an individual, let's say I'm going across Bridgetown and I see someone who's begging for money, and I say, get in front of me, or I don't even pay attention to the individual and I walk away, or they drop right in front of me, and the first thing I grab is my phone. If you think about it, my phone.
Yeah.
I don't grab the phone to call the ambulance or to
you
call.
want to film it because you want to be the first.
Yes,
but
you want to be the first to capture it. So
Sad.
even though the research has shown that in social media people became, I think it's a kind of a more generalized form of empathy where, you would quickly write in the comment section, but ask them to go and do something in their own jurisdiction. Different story.
Any parting words for young families?
I would say for young families, young parents, do not give up. Do not give up on yourselves, and I know you won't give up on your child, I hope. But if you know that you need help, seek out that help. I imagine that there are hotlines in place, there are resources. I know there are several civil society bodies out there, Barbados, More Empowerment, which is a local civil society group set up. And there are many of those resources out there that if you do look for them, you'll find them, and admit that you need help, because I think that's the first step. That's the first step in change, admitting that you need help, whether you're alcoholic,
Yeah.
whether you are a repeat offender, whether you are a drug addict, whether you're going through some kind of turmoil or mental health challenge.
Yeah, there's
The
no
first
shame.
step
No
is
shame in
admission.
that. No shame in it.
Yeah.
I've
So that's
been
my parting words of encouragement.
Thank you for spending some time with us here at the Countdown, and we look forward to see you in the future.
Well, the pleasure is all mine, and I hope to be back on your platform in the near future.
The Countdown is brought to you with the compliments of Inaudi's Transport and Tours, reliability and convenience every ride. Black Diamond's Academy of Dance, shine bright like a diamond. Sarah Photos, capturing unforgettable moments. Karma Photo Booths, good vibes come around. EO Graphics, multimedia and design. Discover Digital, we take the worry out of web development. Estilo Executive Chauffeuring, style all the way. Evergreen Adventures, the exclusive choice. Miller's Entrepreneurial Services, Let's Connect. Celebration of Life's Journey, Embracing 50. Sapphire Aster Productions, producing engaging content for the world.